Hello, everyone. This is Danny, and this movie review is for Brian Banks. This is my 498th review on YouTube. The inspirational true story of Brian Banks, an All American high school football star committed to USC who finds his life upended when he is wrongly convicted of a crime he did not commit. Despite the lack of evidence, Banks is railroaded through a broken justice system and sentenced to a decade of prison and probation. Years later, with the support of Justin Brooks and the California Innocence Project, Banks fights to reclaim his life and fulfill his dreams of playing in the NFL. This is a 2019 film. It is rated PG-13. It runs an hour and 39 minutes, and it stars the people on the front: Aldrich Hodge, Greg Kinnear, and Sherri Shepherd. This is Brian Banks. Well, this is interesting. This is about the closest thing that I've seen to Blindside to come around. It's a true story. It's a football story. It's a football story of a person with a really tough situation, and it's the closest thing emotionally to The Blind Side that I've ever seen. And so, right away, I can suggest it because it's going to be a nice movie. You just know it. It's inspirational and it's sad and it's mysterious and has good actors in it. So it's already suggested. For anybody who doesn't know who Brian Banks is, I'm not going to tell you much about him because it's a true story and you can look it up. You can Google it in 5 seconds. But he was an NFL player, and this is the story of what it took for him to get to the NFL. So that's about all you really need to know from me. I connected kind of personally with this movie because it has to deal with my Seattle Seahawks that I've been a fan of for over 16 years now. And I just really have enjoyed being a fan of the Seahawks and how they do things and their culture. And when the whole part of this movie where Brian Banks has correlation with Pete Carroll when he was at USC, I was just kind of cheering for this movie a little bit. It's just a little tidbit kind of reason why I cheered for this movie. So probably nobody else will care, but it's kind of nice when somebody or some team you like is in a movie and you can kind of root for that movie a little bit more. So, yeah, it's tough with movies like this because it does have good actors in it and it knows it's going to be a great movie because of the material that's in it. And then they get all kind of, I don't know, it's just kind of like too gleeful, maybe. I don't know, too sappy a little bit. Like when the mom has her moment, it's this lady right here, I think, Sherri Shepherd, right there. When she gets her moment to shine and like stand up for her son or cry or say that she believes in him or whatever, like she gets so over dramatic. It's like tone it down. Like this is already a good movie. You don't need to be a diva in the spotlight. Just be humble, be calm, and like nobody in this movie understood that concept of not trying to be a diva when it's your 5 minutes, and like everybody's like way over the top, like smiling all the time or trying to really say like the most profound thing they can think of to say. Greg Kinnear is about the only one who brings this kind of down to humble level, and because he knows what he's doing, he's a seasoned actor, and so he knows how to act and not try and go over the top. So, you know, I'd have to say the overacting probably hurt this movie a lot. I can't say that much, but the other weak point of this movie is the story. Like, I know it's technically a true story. Maybe they mixed some things here and there, but a lot of repeating dialogue, a lot of, misleading us, as in the movie's trying to make us think that things aren't going to work out for the best when we know they're going to. It's just one of those movies, and when you're hearing that things aren't going to work out, they're going to. So it's like whatever. Um, the other thing that kind of got me was the story. Sorry to get sidetracked there for a second, but like the way they handled it, the girl that gets Brian to jail, she's like the dumbest bag of rocks ever. Like, it's so hard to believe that somebody would believe this girl ever in her whole life. I just can't believe people like that get away with anything in this world, and then I have to sit here and watch a movie about it. So that was the other thing that kind of got on my nerves. It's just really annoying, and I just can't understand why somebody like that would, be like that and get away with things. So yeah, I don't know. It's I'm not painting this movie out to be very good, am I? But honestly, it's a nice story. It has the football aspect. It has, the achieving factor after dealing with stuff. There's a surprise actor in here I haven't mentioned, and he kind of makes the movie a little bit better too, a lot better. And when his involvement in this movie is kind of what makes Brian a great character and a great movie reason to make a movie. I'm sorry. And so when you get the surprise actor and you see who he is and you see what he says and you see what he does and how that influences Brian, that's really what makes this movie great. And everybody else can kind of feed off of that and go do what they need to do, and we get our feel good movie. So, honestly, like I said at the beginning of this, I do suggest watching this. Seek it out, own it if you need to, do whatever you need to do to find this movie, watch it. It is one of the most inspirational things that you can watch. You just know it by what it has on the front of it and who it has in it. So I'm going to give Brian Banks, those two words start with a B, I'm going to give this movie a B. And I hope that people get something out of this, and I hope that people understand what it means to be in this country and have a fair trial. And that's, human beings deserve that, not any one person or any kind of type of person. Every human being deserves a fair trial. And I think this movie does a really good job stating that, and I hope that point gets across a lot more in our culture. I think movies can have that effect on things, and I hope this one does. So B for Brian Banks. Thanks a lot, guys. My name's Danny. If you like this or any of my other videos, try and get some of them watch. Like and subscribe to my channel if you would. And enjoy your movies. Thanks.